Hey everybody, this is Mr. Heiser, principal over at Medalon, just kind of giving you an opportunity to see some new features that we have on PowerSchool in regards to our grades for Medalon. So I'm going to hop off the screen and show you some of the changes that were made, so then you can help yourself. Now I'm showing you first of all, this is a student that is in 5th grade. And so this is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. If you take a look at your grades, if you go into your child's PowerSchool, this is likely what you're going to see is homeroom and then different types of classes that they are in. And then if you look at under quarter 1, you probably won't see much. You'll see these I's or something like that. And I don't know for sure what teacher or what parents see on their phones, but it should be something similar. So I'm going to help you try to wiggle through looking at grades and understanding where we're at, because we do things a little bit differently than prior in the high school. We don't go A, B, C, D, and F. We are standards based, and so we base all of our grades off of the standards that are from the state of Ohio, which is actually kind of nice. I'm a big fan of it. It's actually what I used when I taught high school, is focusing on the standards, but then I had to transfer my grades into point values and things like that. So this is going to be a little bit different. So I just want to start with one of his classes. I'm going to start right here with this young man. He's in Mrs. Collart's class. There are some different things that you could look at. And so if you're at this part where it says grades and attendance, you can click on that, and of course it shows absences and tardies and things like that. But if you click on this little I, if you click on that for first quarter, what you're going to see, if you just hold on a sec, you'll see these. Okay, now you'll see a bunch of different pieces of work that were associated with the first quarter. From, it looks like September 10th was the first time there were some grades put in, all the way till October 22nd. And you'll also see quite a few different things, and you'll see 9s out of 10, 7s out of 10. And I did get permission from the parent to be able to show this, so I had to kind of have a guinea pig here, so thank you. I'm just going to click on one of them. If you click on this blue, it looks like a measuring tool, and it shows standards. If you click on it, all it does is it tells you which standard that is associated with, which is a language standard. Of course, if you click on the second one, that's also language. I think that here's one that says Intro to Paragraph, so that would be a writing standard. And so it breaks it up into some different standards. Each one has a different standard. Some of the grades might even have more than one, and so one standard. So if I go to standards grades, though, and I think this is what I would look at. So if I were a parent, I would look at standards grades. And so I'm going to click on that same class, Mrs. Collart, 5th grade ELA. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to show me where my students' grades are, because if you notice, English Language Arts will not have a grade. What will have a grade is each standard. And so there's 6 different standards in 5th grade for ELA. Literature is one of them, informational text. And these are all standards that not only the state looks at, but also that's what they're measured on at the end of the year. And so this shows that this young man is meeting our expectations in all of these areas. And if you notice, there's a dash here for speaking and listening. That doesn't mean he didn't do a good job. That just means that we didn't necessarily cover that in the first quarter. I'm going to just click on another one here. Let me click on science. So you can kind of see the same type of thing with science. This young man's meeting expectations. Mr. Farr's already got a grade in for Earth and Space Science for this young man for the year, or for the second quarter. And so there's all of the different pieces for that as well. Geography and government strands for social studies, so on and so forth. It looks like in his math class with Mrs. Wolf, he met these we did 4 different standards, and then the geometry standard we just didn't get to in 5th grade in that class quite yet. So that's kind of what I would be looking at when I'm looking at grades. Also, if you click on that grade, it'll give you kind of, this is the weird part under grade where it says %90. That doesn't necessarily mean he got a 90%. That just means we had to put in some kind of value for the grade just to make PowerSchool work. So unfortunately, whenever we put in an M, it puts a value, but that's not necessarily what I would look for as a parent. I would be looking for M or PR. PR just means that you're progressing, and M means that you've met the expectations for a 5th grader. Okay. What's also cool is we also have perks. You can kind of see the different things that show up in that regard. So I'm going to go back to grades and attendance piece. Once again, just to remind you, you could click on this I, and when you click on that, it'll actually give the actual items to be able to break down, like a Unit 1 test was operations and algebraic thinking. So he got 21 out of 23 points for that, which is meeting expectation. Unit 1 test on measurement and data, he got 11 out of 11. So that's just a way to look at those to make sure if your students are in the right space or not. So there you go. I think that's everything, and there's of course other things you can look at as well, but I wanted to make sure that we're all clear that when you look at this, it's not that we're hiding grades or anything else. It's just the way the system is. So you're not going to see A, B, C, D, or F here. You're just going to see these things, and when you click on them, it'll give you better information, or you can click on the standards-based tab there. Okay. As always, if you have any questions, you can feel free to email your student's teacher or even myself. I'll be happy to help out with everything that I possibly can to help you understand this a little bit better. So hopefully that was helpful. Have a great night, everybody, and go Pirates.